Hello, Glitch Cooper here. I'm back with another quick vlog. I just need to say there's kind of a storm of various events kind of happening around recently, so I'm not sure how things are going to work for a while. It not too big of a thing actually, but just it may slow down things a bit as I'm trying to deal with multiple large things at once, including family business, some kind of working related stuff, some medical related stuff, and also just trying to do some various debugging and stuff with packs and things that I'm working with simultaneously, and a few things that might require heavier editing than normal, because side effect of working with Shino, he's gotten really used to doing Twitch streaming, so therefore he's kind of used to doing long format stuff where we do like long sessions, so that'll take more editing to get down into small enough pieces so it'll be easier for people to watch through. I mean, you know how it goes sometimes when you do a big session and you kind of have to. Well, I know that experience more, but anyhow, whenever you go through a big session, sometimes you have to carve it down. And I'm still working with some things in the background, such as getting my Thumbcraft research back from Crusader, and that is still going on and taking a while whenever I got opportunities to do so. It's a lot more than I first thought, because I kind of forgot how much I was kind of just doing a little bit at a time for a while, and I forgot just how much it added up. But that was a pretty big chunk. But that's something that I didn't expect it to quite take as much out of me as I first thought. But yeah, that was intense, and still is. But I'm working on it. That's one of those things I'm kind of working on. And there's a few other things that require balancing and redos and stuff. So it's mainly just I got a whole lot of things happening at the same time. So it's just one of those things that kind of pops up, and it doesn't really take too much of those kind of events to completely reset what's going on for a little while. But with me, it's about kind of going with the flow and kind of the general luck that I've been having. And things have been going good for a while, actually, a pretty good long period of time. But this is where things get to be where you just get a storm of activity that just lands on top of you. And it's happening. I'm having a lot of things happen at once. Again, still have some stuff that I need to just edit and get out later, so it's not that I'm without video, it's just it's one of those things that's going to take some time to get into the right format. Editing thing. Oh, in different news, speaking of editing, kind of a little public service announcement that I've kind of forgot to do until now. But yeah, some people may in the future at some point ask how I do my videos in terms of what software I use. While Lightcam is good for recording, the editing I do with Movie Maker. Now that's the thing about this. You see, Movie Maker has been kind of discontinued for a while, but there's people that at least appear to be offering it. See, that's a problem. From what I understand, a lot of those newer sources are bugged or virused. Like, it's basically people trying to exploit people, knowing that Movie Maker was a really cool piece of freeware. So the fact I have an existing copy, I'm very grateful for. So I gotta thank my bro for that one, because he kind of caught it first and passed it along, going, hey, if you want to do more editing stuff, try this. And I'm like, oh yeah, this works out, cool. And there are a few other things like that, but I don't know if there's anything quite as good currently out of freeware when it comes to doing video editing. So it's one of those things that if you're looking for something with one of the best you could get for free, you're kind of out of luck right now, because it's been kind of taken out of circulation, and most of the current sources are quite bad. Like, they are specifically attacks on people that are just exploiting the fact that the program was great. So just remember, if you're trying to look for Movie Maker, it could be a bad thing instead of what you're looking for. So extreme caution is to be taken. This is when you do want to talk to friends who actually have it. This is when you say, hey, can you throw me a copy of that cool freeware, that thing? Because if you don't trust your source, it is probably not going to turn out well in this case, because a Movie Maker was great, was good freeware, so anybody could have it, but the problem is people know that are not good. They are definitely going to try to exploit the fact that that was there. So, this case, you definitely want to talk to friends and family that have had it if you want your own. Like, reach out, ask people if they've got a direct copy that's considered good, not something flawed, and don't look out on the net for more sources from Movie Maker anymore. It is a goner, and that means that, yeah, trust me. From what I understand, the situation is bad. Now, with this in mind, if anything ever happens and I, for some weird reason, can't use it anymore, then I will have to try to look in the background for a substitute to use. So far, that has not come up, and it seems pretty resilient. I don't know if it can like run on all systems and stuff or not. I mean, personally, I use a variation of Windows at this time, so I know it works out. I don't know if it's good for other systems, so I don't know if even the surviving copies being copied would work out for that. So if I had to change systems, which I have been tempted multiple times due to a few system issues that I think could be solved by using an alternate operating system. The thing is that if I were to do that, I don't know what all I'd be able to run on it. I do know that Minecraft has variations for Linux as well as for Windows, so that's not an issue. But some of the other things I might have to be looking for alternatives, and most of them I already know have alternate versions, but for Movie Maker I'm not so sure, and it is something that I prefer using. It's actually pretty good with what it gives you the options to use, even though I haven't used them all. But the bigger point is that it was one of the reasons why it was good but freeware in the first place was it doesn't exactly have a user-friendly operating manual. Like, you pretty much have to just figure out what it does and how you can use it. So it's one of those things that's like, okay, see what you can do with it. You're good. It's just like, yeah, you have options. Figure them out for yourself. But I have. I've given it a lot of time and experience, and I've learned to like it as is. So I'm not really sure what would happen if I had to work without it. And at the same time, knowing that there's no options on the online in terms of getting a new copy, I'm a little worried about that. So, yeah, I mean, this is like personally from my side of things, wondering about this, but it also goes to a deeper problem. You got to be very careful of your source for any file. It's not just trying to get a program that would be good for your personal business or whatever, but it just period. So I mean a lot of things have become well established these days, and they have good security, but you got to look out for anything you don't exactly think is on the level. So this just kind of brought that point up higher. Yeah, you might want to be careful where you're going for that. And for me specifically, that kind of affects me directly in terms of what I can do. So although I will look for alternatives in the future, just in case it comes up, I don't foresee it happening immediately. But I do know one thing. I'll have to make sure that no matter what, I keep a copy of that around, just in case something goes terribly wrong. Because if I don't, it might just be gone forever. Because I can't get new copies, and if my bro loses all of his somehow too, or like if both of our systems get wiped out, it's a goner. So that's one of those things, is knowing that there is no real backup for that, and that's something I'm kind of scared of. That doesn't have a plan B at this time, so I'm gonna have to see if I can formulate that. But it's kind of something a lot of people need to be concerned of, is always keep backup copies of important stuff. So I'll try to make sure that I definitely have good ones. I think I already do for that, but I'm just saying if something were to go wrong, the situation is very specific because of Movie Maker. So anybody else trying to get into doing YouTube with Movie Maker, I'd again be careful of sources. I think I've gone on enough about that, but it's one of those things that's hard to underemphasize. I mean, we live today in a world where a lot of people are a little bit too trusting of what happens online. Like, seriously. Again, that's a deeper thing, too, is they just throw everything out there and they forget that can be seriously exploited. Including, like, tweeting it out, going, "Hey, need this program, help me out." Well, this is when you want to private message a friend instead of throwing it out on Twitter, because don't give the crackers, and by crackers I mean like people who crack systems and destroy them, not little saltines. Uh, but well, you know, the thing about hackers and crackers. Hackers are people that are just good at programming and working with system security, and crackers are the ones who like destroying it and unleashing viruses and worms and stuff. So, yeah. But yeah, but whatever you do, don't give the bad ones, the crackers, or otherwise known as the black hats, good ideas for how to exploit. So be careful what you post about that too. I mean, apparently people were having issues with the whole movie maker situation, and then that gave them ideas, and then stuff happened. So yeah, we've got to try to remember that it's something that's good to kind of preemptively support the community on, is trying to figure out not only what options we could have, but trying to protect the ones we've got. This is one thing that I'm sad to say has been kind of a bit of an online community failure. It just apparently had a seriously bad time, and it just went away that is now just not satisfactory at all. So just remember that sometimes you do have to stand strong as a group, and this is kind of the big message here. No matter what, just keep on trucking, but also be wary and be strong together. Know that teamwork does help, and also sometimes be preemptive, and make sure that for those that, well, that you're not really, well, just make sure that whenever you're not really sure of something, that you're a little wary. Make sure to trust in your community, in your friends, your team. Make sure that when you got backup, they got your back. It's just one of those things to just kind of think of there. So, wow, I think I just had a lot to get off my chest this time. Sometimes that happens. Anyhow, I think I got my various points across. So for now, I'll be signing out as usual. Hope to hear from y'all later. Bye for now, everybody, and as usual, do remember to join the parrot party. Yeah.